Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Bourbon and Boxing, episode 19. And I am your host, Jeffrey Motherfucking Foe. Cheer for me, cheer for me, cheer for me. Nah, welcome, everybody, to another episode, man. Episode 19. Moving on up to the east side. In an apartment in the sky. I know my voice is amazing. I know you guys love it. But anyways, man, quite a bit to talk about, man. There's some four main cards on this weekend, so we got a big fight weekend. We had a big fight weekend last week as far as a big major fight. Didn't live up to the hype. The undercard was really nice, lived up to the hype, but the main card didn't live up to the hype. We saw that, guys. We don't want to get back to the snoozer thing, right? But anyways, man, this is Bourbon and Boxing. Today we are drinking on what is called Horse Soldier. Once again, out of Kentucky. I think Bardstown, Kentucky. This is named after a couple of Green Berets that went on horseback in Afghanistan after 9/11 when we went over there during that war. They rode in on horseback and kicked some ass like Green Berets do. I mean, what else can you say then? But hey, let's give a shot to those guys. Green Berets, soldiers, anybody, men and women serving our country, keeping our freedom. Freedom! Oh, yeah!
Awesome!
All right, man. I have decided that I like to sip on my bourbon. Taking shots like a frat boy just doesn't sit well with my stomach. And it tastes a lot better when I can sip on it and enjoy it. So I'm not going to chug this shot like I normally do. I'm just going to take a sip, and then we're going to talk about our sponsor as usual, and then we're going to get into the show, guys. Once again, welcome to Bourbon and Boxing, where the drink is bourbon and the talk is boxing, guys. Anyways, let's get to our sponsor of the show, Brown Family Construction. For any of your construction needs, hit them up in the northern Kentucky, Cincinnati area. They are great indoor, outdoor work. Anything you need done, hit them up, Brown Family Construction. You can find them on Facebook with all the information. And if my editor actually works today, you might get their information at the end. I should probably memorize that at some point so I can throw it out there to you. But you can find them on Facebook, as you know. And Jason Brown is the guy you will contact, very professional, and he will get the job done, guys. Once again, Brown Family Construction. Anyways, man, this is a pretty big week in boxing. I'm watching the weigh-in for the Josh Warrington and Lee Wood fight. That's the fight that I really want to break down for you guys. Think that's going to be a hell of a fight. But some news also. A couple big fight announcements. Not really announcements. One big fight announcement. Another fight that we knew was going to happen is coming up also. But last week, we had quite a bit of, a thing going on with the big fight, Canelo versus Charlo. There was a lot to that fight. And I keep hearing a clicking over there. I'm trying to figure out what the hell it is. Sorry, guys, if you see me distracted a little bit, I keep hearing a click. Weird sound. But anyways, man, the Charlo versus Canelo fight was one of those fights that as soon as I start talking, it happens. Nah, you're not going to hear it. It's messed up. But anyways, that fight, it was really hyped up as Charlo. People were trying to make everybody think that Charlo was going to have a chance. Canelo absolutely dominated the fight. Charlo, everybody's saying it. It's kind of hard to not see a guy that kind of jumped in the ring for a payday. Way above his weight class. I said it last week. 14 pounds, guys. That's a big weight difference for anybody. Walking around weight and fighting weight are two different things, man. For Charlo. So, he's comfortable fighting at 154, even if he walks around at 160 plus. You know what I mean? He fights at 154. That's what he's comfortable at. He really didn't interact a lot in the fight. That's what I think, more disappointed in Charlo with, is that he didn't interact in this fight, guys. He didn't look like he cared. He was there for a payday, and it's That's what sucks, to see a guy that was there for a payday use a guy for a payday. Uh, and Canelo went out there, put on a hell of a show, but it wasn't hard to put on a show against a guy who wasn't fighting back, who wasn't, playing good defense, wasn't there to win the fight, was happy to take a payday and walk away. And I think I've spoke about this before. I feel like sports has gone that way in every direction, man. We have lost the love, the spirit for the sport, the love for the sport, the hunger that boxing and all sports used to have for these guys. Money was, hey, it was there to be made. They had to work their butt off to earn it, all that other stuff. But they played because it was the love of the sport, not the money. Now it's all about a payday, man. And once these guys get paid, they don't really care. So Charlo goes back down to 154. He got a $20 million payday from Canelo. Is he even going to care about boxing anymore after this? He took 16-month layoff with a hand injury. We watched Canelo with a hand injury not even take a year off, guys. Got the surgery and was back in the ring. So his layoff was a little bit longer. Same thing with his brother. Hasn't been in there for a while. I'm really hoping, because I don't think anybody wants to see Canelo versus Jermell. I think that's who the oldest brother is. Nobody wants to see that. We don't want to see that fight because that guy hasn't been in the ring in over 3 years now. So you really want to think he's going to come back and fight Canelo after 3 years of not being in the ring? No, there's no way in hell. So I think it's time for Canelo to move on from the Charlo brothers. He gave the oldest brother the opportunity. He wasn't ready to get back in the ring. He gave it to his younger brother. And that's where I think boxing should have stepped in. Save Charlo from this fight, but it's hard to tell a guy he can't have a payday. But it's also, when there's other fighters in that division that, deserve the mandatory against Canelo, like a David Benavidez, should have probably been next in line. If Jermell Charlo decided not to take that fight, it should have went straight to, okay, well, your next option is David Benavidez. And that should have been who was next in line. So I think that was kind of a weird thing. I think that's where a sanctioning body, a commission, a group of individuals, a committee that can come together in boxing and make those type of decisions to say, all right, cool. Yeah, he wants to give his brother the fight. That's 14 pounds in weight that this guy has to make up for this fight. He's not putting his belts on the line. If he wins, I guess he's the one. If he would have won the fight, he would have been the undisputed champ in that weight division. But would he have been able to stand? I don't know. We all knew he wasn't going to win. So that isn't even an option. And I think everybody knew, and in boxing we knew, okay, this fight is kind of, one-sided. Canelo is the natural guy. At the natural weight, he's going to dominate Charlo. Everybody said it, but everybody tried to dumb it down a little bit as the fight. When the fight got announced, everybody was like, dude, Charlo is going to get killed. And then midway, through, they try to, the media tries to throw out there that, hey, man, Canelo might be losing a step. Oh, he doesn't have the power he used to have. I think he's ready to get out. All this stuff about Canelo that was trying to hype up the fight. I think they knew it was going to be one-sided, man, that Charlo didn't stand a chance regardless. And you definitely don't stand a chance if you don't throw punches. I mean, that's just obviously. Charlo's a high punch thrower. Like, he doesn't normally. He was just so lackadaisical in this fight and just didn't throw punches. It allowed Canelo to back him down the whole night and just beat him up. He didn't attempt to counter, throw punches, and even at any point in really a combination style. He just never put anything together, and we had to watch that for 12 rounds. 12 rounds of that shit, man. Not the fight you want to see Canelo in. You want to see something exciting. David Benavidez. If David Benavidez beats Demetrius Andrade, who he fights next, then, I think that's got to be the next fight for Canelo. If I'm correct, they're both with Showtime. They're both with PBC, so they can make that fight absolutely happen, and it would be worth watching. Worth watching on pay-per-view. I would pay for that. But yeah, other than that, we saw what we saw. What is my opinion on Canelo? Is he a pound-for-pound fighter? Absolutely. His skill is still there. The one thing I will say is I think he is losing a little bit of his power, guys. I think he has lost some of his power. He wasn't really. He hit Charlo with one good shot, put him down midway through the fight, maybe fifth round or something like that. And that was his only real power that he hurt him with. Outside of that, he never hurt Charlo whatsoever, and he was hitting him with some good shots. So it makes me think that he's lost some power, and against a guy like David Benavidez, that could be a bad thing because it's going to be hard to outbox David Benavidez for 12 rounds. Not saying that Canelo can't do it because Canelo's a hell of a boxer, so he can box with you if you want to box with him. But I think at some point David's going to land a big shot on him, and that's where he could find himself in trouble. But Canelo hasn't lost any skills as far as when it comes to boxing. He looked as good as ever, but it's hard to really judge him on this, guys, because the level of talent he was against. We all knew, everybody knew, Charlo wasn't the next level guy. He's never been on that next level thing. Like if you put him in against Crawford, I think Crawford eats him a fucking alive. I've said that before. Even at 154, Crawford tears him up. I think Tim Tszyu beats him. So if he fights Tszyu next, I expect him to lose that fight. I really think he is. He's not a next level guy. We all know that. We've known that about him. With the Brian Castano fight, Tony Harrison fight, those fights. So we knew he's never been a top level guy. We saw that he was talented, but there wasn't a lot of challenge at 154. Now you got Tim Tszyu there. If Spence jumps up, that's another big guy in that division. And then Crawford, if he was to jump up to 154, which I really don't see him doing it, I think he's comfortable at 147. He can make a fight against Tank, Lopez, Josh Taylor, Boots Ennis. I mean, shit, there's a lot of fights to be made at 147 for him. So he could stay there, make money, no reason to jump up to 154, where he may not be comfortable yet to jump in that division. He's already went up 3 weight divisions, so let's call that off. But Charlo, just, after what I've seen from that, I'm not real excited to see him fight again because he took a payday, and it's hard to look a guy that just took a payday. And I get it, it's about the money, but at some point in the sport, for all sports, there's got to be some kind of loyalty, respect for yourself, and love for winning, or just the love of being the best, the greatest. Like you see that in Canelo. He's making the money, so it's hard to say, but he didn't just stop training. This guy's made probably $1 billion in his career as a boxer. And that's really hard to do, but $1 billion in his career as a boxer. So, and he just keeps fighting, and he fights his ass off. He don't ever take shit off. Like he never gives you a half-ass fight. You never go out saying, well, Canelo looked like pure shit. He might have got outbacked by, Triple G and one or two of those fights, but overall, he's always looked like he puts his best on. Even in those fights, he was putting his best on. So even the money hasn't lost his loyalty, his love for the sport. And you don't see that in a lot of guys. A lot of guys just want a payday and then call it quits, live their life easy. And I get that, man. Hell, if I could make $20 million and walk off into sunset, well, fucking A, buddy, I would do it. Probably. And it's hard to say anybody wouldn't do it. But I know one thing. I wouldn't get in that ring and not put some kind of performance on, not try to keep my name in the history books as one of the greats. Like if I'm going to be into something, I'm going to be the best at what I do. I'm a chef. I'm the best at what I fucking do. That's a fact. I'm a chef, and when I go into my job, I put on my best fucking performance every goddamn day I'm there, man. Even on a bad day, I'm putting on a good performance. So it's about having respect for yourself. Every tray every dish that goes out, I know has my name on it. When I'm there cooking, when I'm there doing my thing at my job, I know that my name's on that dish that's going out. Those people are going to eat that, and that's going to be my reputation on the line. Same thing should come with sports, man, and anything you do in life, man. If you do it, I don't care if you wash cars for a living or if you, anything, whatever you're doing for a living, be the best at it at least, and today, in today's world, there's not a lot of that. There's not a lot of respect that people have for that. But, hey, I'm going to move off that because we have quite a bit of cards that are going on today. Some big fights this weekend. The one that I really want to break down for you, the one that I'm really looking forward to, guys, is the Lee Wood versus Josh Warrington. I'm a huge fan of both of these guys, mainly Lee Wood, who I came across a few years ago and then really became a fan of him in that Conlon fight that he had. Just amazing fight there. 12 rounds of these guys beating their ass, beating herself to death. But, I fell in love with Wood then. Thought, man, this guy's a hell of a fighter. Got so much heart, man. Hard puncher. Then, in this year, this will be the third time this guy's fought in pretty much 6 months. 6 months. 3 times in 6 months. Everybody take a note. That's what you're supposed to do in boxing. If you're able to do it, get out there and do it. I mean, he got knocked out by Lara back in March. Came back in June. Yeah, June. 3 months after that. Came back in June. Fought Lara again. Beat him. Okay? Looked really good, too. And then now, here we are in October. June. He just fought in June. 4 months later, here he is again fighting. So basically within, a little over a 6 month span, 7 months, he's fought 3 times so far this year in a 7 month span. And, man, this guy, he puts on a hell of a fight every time he's there. Josh Warrington, man, I like Josh. He's a little bit he's right on the outside. He's one step in, one step out. He gets better as the fight goes on. He really progresses as the fight goes on. So the best thing to do with Josh Warrington is try to get him early. Because he only progresses as the fight goes on. But the same thing with Lee Wood. Lee Wood gets better with the fight. So these two guys, I just think this is going to be a hell of a fight. I'm going to go with Lee Wood because of his heart. I'd love to see Josh Warrington pull it off because I think he needs the victory more, even though Wood has 3 losses and Warrington only has 2 losses. I just think that Warrington needs this fight a little bit more than Wood does. To stay in contention for championship contender, to have another opportunity. Well, I mean, there's a belt on the line here, but to have another opportunity to wrap up a couple more belts and get another championship belt fight. So, I mean, this is a big fight for Warrington. These two guys bang it out, dude. How do you say, what does each guy do? Of course, in every boxing match, whoever establishes that jab, but I don't think either of these guys are interested in establishing a jab. They're just going to go in there and bang it out. And I think whoever lands that nice punch, whoever lands the best punch is going to win this fight. But I think Wood has the heart. Josh Warrington has the momentum. Oh, shit. Oh. Sorry. Goodness gracious. Late, guys. I've been up since 6 a.m. But Warrington has that, has to win drive in him. He has that drive that, hey, man, I've got to win this fight. I've got to come out on top. I've got to show everybody that I'm still relevant in boxing and that I'm not on the outside looking in. So this fight, I mean, it's just going to be a hell of a fight, guys. Pretty good undercard. I was watching the weigh-in. I didn't really catch much as I was trying to mess with my stuff. I had to reset some stuff, so my thing was off a little bit. Man, that thing is right in my face. I cannot get this microphone right. I don't realize how much it's just in my face right there. It's like it raised up. Raise up. Like, what the fuck, man? What the fuck, Holmes? But anyways, guys, get that straightened out. Goodness gracious. Get out of my face.
Awesome.
All right, let's take a shot. That's what I was getting ready to do before I noticed the microphone was so much in my face, man. Sorry, half my damn show was the microphone in my face, which is all right. You know, I got an ugly mug, so I'm sure you guys didn't miss much. You just get to hear my beautiful voice. I got the voice of an angel. Oh, yeah. Maybe not, but anyways. Man, I like this stuff. All right. But anyways, that fight's on there. And then there is another good fight. Kinda. Joe Smith versus Ramirez. Both of these guys are new in the cruiserweight. Both are coming off losses. Ramirez to Bivol. And then Ramirez didn't make weight to fight. He was supposed to fight Gabriel Rosado. He didn't make weight in that. He came in at 187 and 175 fight. Way overweight. That fight got canceled on him. So he moved up to cruiserweight. Joe Smith moved up to cruiserweight. So here's two guys just introducing themselves to the cruiserweight division, going to fight each other, both on a must-win, pretty much. Both of these got to win. Joe has to win more than Ramirez, but both had to come out and win. Both of these guys are not exciting fighters, guys, in my opinion. Maybe that's why it keeps going up because I keep messing with it. Both of these guys are not experienced. Like they're not exciting fighters to watch. They're experienced. Not exciting fighters to watch. Honestly, nothing about either of these guys make me want to tune in for this fight. Uh, I think Ramirez. I favor Ramirez. I think he's a better boxer. I think he's the overall better fighter. Joe Smith always has a fighter's chance with that right hand that he has. Always has a fighter's chance. But that's all he ever has is a fighter's chance. He's not anything special. He can move up to cruiserweight. He's not. I think he just, Joe Smith is what Joe Smith is. He's going to end up being a journeyman. He's going to be a guy that you put in there against younger guys later in his career. And he's just going to be a journeyman. That's how he's going to have to make his money off the sport, in my opinion. Never been real impressed with Joe Smith. He's not an exciting fighter to watch. I don't feel like that fight's going to be super exciting to watch. So, of course, that's going to be here in the States in Las Vegas. The Lee Wood fight and, Warrington's going to be over in the UK. So maybe, now I said this a couple weeks ago, I thought we were going to get an all-day event in the U.S., but the Zhang fight and Joyce fight didn't come on here in the U.S. till 5 o'clock. So it kind of went right into the top rank. I watched the main event on that around 6 o'clock and then went straight into the top rank. So, it was nice. It was a nice day of boxing, but I like when it starts around 1 or 2 o'clock in the UK and I'm able to come home and just jump right into boxing, ignore everybody around me. Screw you guys. It's boxing time. Leave me alone. Stiff arm my kids like the Heisman. Get on my face. It's my time. My time. I'm hungry. Better learn to cook. Your daddy a chef. Better learn to cook. Nah, I'm playing. They like that. See, people like that. That's how I treat my kids. Nah, I'm playing. Don't call CPS on me. I'm good to my kids. All right, guys. It's going to be blunt bourbon boxing. But anyways, man, this fight, I think it's going to be a snoozer. I don't see anything exciting about it. I'm going to favor Ramirez. I think he's just got a little bit more in him than Joe Smith does. Like I said, Joe Smith's going to be a journeyman. I feel like he's going to make a living doing that. Outside of that, he doesn't have much of a place in boxing right now. I just don't think he's talented enough. Even though cruiserweight's kind of weak, one of these guys could probably do pretty decent at cruiserweight. Not a lot of big-time talent there. Anybody to threaten either of these guys. I mean, not really threaten them. These guys aren't a threat to anybody. But, okay, outside of that, there's a few more other fights going on, too. Some boxing news that we can get into. But let me go to my bourbon. And also, remember, guys, check me out on Facebook, man. I have a group on there called Bourbon and Boxing, of course. Look it up. I post the schedules on there, fight results. Same thing I kind of do on here. I talk about my reaction. I post daily stuff on my Facebook group. So, I do my videos once, maybe twice a week. But Facebook, I update every single day on news. I do my fight schedule weekly on there so that people kind of get a look. We do have a female fight. We have a fight tonight, man. I almost forgot. I was hoping to catch it. I can't find it. It was on TNT Sports. Ellis Zorro, which I liked him. He fought in a tournament about a year or two ago. Looked really good. Young up-and-coming guy in the cruiserweight. He's going up against Luca D'Oratezzi. That's going on tonight on TNT Sports. It's going to be over in the UK, so that fight probably already happened. I don't know. I'll check out my fight results here. See if it's in the fight results. If we got that results in for that fight. But that fight happened today. I like Zorro a lot. Looks like Zorro won. He showed a lot in the cruiserweight as a good young guy in that tourney. So it was good to see him on a big stage tonight. It looks like he won by a decision to retain the WBO European title. So that fight happened already today. Over in the UK, we got the results for that. Kind of what I thought was going to happen. Zorro was going to win that fight. But, of course, we have... There it is. In the women's, you got Evelyn Bermudez versus Kim Clavel. On the women's side. Previous unified flyweight titleist Clavel will get a second chance and an opportunity to dethrone the current 108-pound queen and two-time and reigning IBF and WBO titleist Bermudez. So that's a women's fight. That'll be on the women's card. There's another. Terry Harper is also on this card. Terry Harper will also be fighting tomorrow. She's been fighting a lot lately. I've been noticing that a lot lately for Terry Harper. She'll be on the Lee Woods card, not on the women's card that I just mentioned. That I mentioned to you guys. But on the Lee Wood card, let's check out something else here. Let's see who else. Terry Harper is on that card. And then you got the Joe Smith, of course. Joe Smith and that fight. There was another fight I was pretty sure that I might have missed one, but let me check my fight schedule here also. But those are pretty much the fights that's going on this week. You got the big fight, Josh Warrington versus Lee Wood, and then Elisaro won tonight. Alvin Bermudez, and then of course the Ramirez versus Joe Smith fight. I broke that down for you. Then in boxing news, you have Ryan Garcia has announced his fight. Looks like he is going to be fighting Dierte. Now, I don't know much about this guy. I know he usually fights at 135. He is a smaller fighter, but they say he's better than what he's known. He's got a heavy body punch. He likes to go to the body. Pretty much a good fight for Ryan to come back to after taking a loss to Tank. Maybe a tune-up fight for him in a way, but everybody's saying don't underestimate this guy. It's not really a tune-up fight. I don't know much about him. So I'll see what he's about. I don't agree with this being a pay-per-view fight. Like, come on, man. Out of all the fights I want to pay for, I sure the hell don't want to pay for a Garcia versus Dierte card. I would rather just see that without having to pay pay-per-view. That's another issue I have with the zone. $24.99 should be enough for me to watch a Ryan Garcia fight. He's not that special. But he will come back, I want to say December 9th. He's announced that. Of course, we have the David Benavidez versus Demetrius Andrade fight coming up. That's going to be a good fight, guys. I expect David Benavidez is there to prove that he deserves to fight Canelo next. Demetrius Andrade, we know, has been calling out these big fights for years now, not just with Canelo, but with anybody with a big name that wants to fight him. He's been saying for years that he's the best middle superweight out there. And he wants to prove it. I thought I don't know how him and a Jaime Magia fight didn't happen when they were both with Matchroom. I didn't understand that. I thought that was an opportunity for him to actually have a big fight and Magia to have a big fight. Either of them have really made big fights in their career. So that would have been a good one to see matched up with. But, of course, he's going to get a chance to fight David Benavidez, which is a really good opportunity for him. If he can beat David Benavidez, then that puts him in the Canelo hat. Then, he's been calling Canelo out. He'll start calling him out again. I want Canelo. And he might get that from Canelo for that second fight because Showtime has to get 2 more fights for Canelo. So who he's going to choose, how he decides to go that route, we'll see. Because, I think if David Benavidez wins against Demetrius Andrade, I think that's got to be his next fight. And then after that, it's a toss-up who his third fight should be. I really would love to see him fight a David Morale, but I don't really think David Morale has Morale has earned that opportunity yet. He's what? He's not even 10 fights in. And we know what he is. He's pretty dangerous. He looks awesome, but who has he fought to say, hey, we can put him up against? I think him and David Benavidez would be a better matchup in the beginning. Definitely, for sure, in my opinion, that would be a way better matchup for Morrell than going straight into a Canelo fight. God, but his power, he is a dangerous fighter, man. That would be tough. But maybe a David Morrell next. I don't know if he's got a big enough name for Canelo to choose him. The boxing industry, boxing fans, true boxing fans, we know who David Morrell is. You put him on the stage against Canelo, and half the world's going to be like, who the fuck is David Morrell? You know what I mean? Half of them aren't going to know who David Benavidez is, but they'll remember his name, trust me, because I think he with his power, with Canelo's lack of power, I think Benavidez has the upper hand on Canelo. His size and his power. And he knows how to box. He's a really smart IQ in the ring. So I think that's a really tough fight for Canelo. Really good fight for David Benavidez. Of course, this week also, guys, it has been 100% confirmed. Fury versus Usyk. And they have a rematch clause. It's a double-sided rematch clause. Really weird that it doesn't matter who the A side is. Whoever the winner of the fight is. Regardless if it's the A side or the B side. If it's Usyk that wins the fight, the B side. Because let's be real, guys. Fury is the A side. I keep seeing these pound for pound lists, and I keep seeing Usyk in front of Fury, and I'm just like, the fuck out of here. Just stop with that bullshit. Because Usyk beat who? Anthony Joshua? Let's be real. I preach it. Anthony Joshua is shit, dude. I don't want to say shit because he would probably kick my ass. I don't want to say shit. And then I run into Anthony Joshua and he's like, "Hey, you got what you want to say about me? Oh, Jeffrey, I'm going to whoop your ass up and down this straight." And what the fuck am I going to do? Get my ass whooped by this guy? He's huge. Not shit, but he's not a top heavyweight. His name, he was carried for years as far as just babied. You know what I mean? And I just don't think he was ever that great of a boxer. Okay? So when everybody's like, "Oh, he beat Anthony Joshua twice." Well, Fury beat fucking Wilder 3 goddamn fucking times, guys. 3 times. Not once, not twice, but 3 times. He got in the ring with the hardest puncher in boxing. Now, now you all keep saying resume. First off, let's stop right there. Because you can talk about Usyk in the cruiserweight. Cruiserweight is dog shit. It's the dog shit division of boxing. Everybody fucking knows that. So stop with what Usyk did in cruiserweight. His resume in the heavyweight is literally Anthony Joshua and fucking Daniel Dubois. And you want to tell me that guy's resume makes him a pound-for-pound fighter? No way, dude. Over Fury? Fury beat Klitschko. Regardless if you want to say it's fucking old or it was 2015 or when the fuck it was. And then he beat Anthony Joshua, or Wilder, not Joshua, but he beat Deontay Wilder 3 fucking times, the hardest puncher in boxing. To me, in the heavyweight division, it's Fury, Wilder, then if you want to put Usyk and whoever after that. But that's how it goes. Fury and Wilder are 1 and 2. Wilder may not be the best boxer in the ring, but he's going to hit you with a big punch, and Usyk can't survive that punch, and nobody outside of Fury in the heavyweight division can survive a punch by Wilder. You guys want to call me crazy all you want. I can guarantee if Usyk and Wilder fought, Joshua, Wilder fought, Wilder knocks both those guys out. I don't give a shit how much of a better boxer you think Usyk is than Wilder. Wilder's going to connect at some goddamn point, and Usyk ain't taking that punch. I can promise you that. We saw him 6'9", Fury, 300 and something pounds. We watched him rock this fucking guy with that punch. That's a serious punch, guys. A serious punch. So, to me, Fury's resume is better than fucking Usyk's. And you got Usyk as a number 4, pound for pound, most of people's list. Usyk's not on my pound for pound list. All right? I tell you, if I have to put a heavyweight in there, it should only be 1 heavyweight because that division is crap. Let's be fucking real. The heavyweight division is crap. So if I'm going to fill any of them in my pound for pound, it's going to be Fury. 1, because he's the most dominant fucking force in boxing with his size and his boxing skill and ability. He's the most dominant heavyweight. He's the most skilled heavyweight. All right? And even with his resume, 3 times against Wilder, Klitschko, his resume is still better than Usyk's. You cannot bring cruiserweight into shit because that division is not impressive, dude. It's like the dog shit division of boxing. Everybody knows that. Cruiserweight hasn't been impressive for years and years and years. And the heavyweight division is the second weakest division in boxing right now. Because the talent level, it goes 1, 2, 3, and just drops the fuck off after Usyk. You can't put AJ up there as a top heavyweight. Zhang is 40 fucking years old, and that's your next top guy. Philip Herbergovich, maybe, but what I've seen of him, He's not beating Fury. He's not beating Usyk, and he's sure the fuck ain't beating Wilder. So if you want to put that guy in your top 5, yeah. We've already seen Joe Joyce get knocked out. He's no longer even in talks. Daniel DeBuy Stonefoot ass sure the fuck shouldn't even be in there. Guys like I would like to see Big Baby Anderson start to move up and see what he can do. But still, I don't think he can beat Wilder, and I don't think he can beat Usyk, and I don't think he could beat Fury. So once again, he might be a great competition against a guy like Zhang, but he's not ready to take on those 3 guys right there because that level's just different. It's a different level, and what I've seen from Big Baby Anderson as a fan of his, a personal fan of his, I've seen a lot of flaws in his game that with Usyk's or with Wilder or Fury's reach, they're going to knock this guy out. That lean back shit that he does, that's horrible. Horrible. It just leaves you open and off balance, speed out of place. Just the worst thing you could do, and I didn't see him fix it in his last fight, so he just continues to do that against a guy with reach like Fury or Wilder or even Usyk. They're going to take advantage of that, and I don't think Anderson would stand a chance against those guys. So, like I said, Fury, Wilder, Usyk, and then that's the heavyweight division. There's really nobody unbelievably even young coming up that you could be like, oh man, this guy's a danger to these guys. Better watch out for this guy. Anderson has the boxing ability and skill, but I don't think he's there yet. Maybe a few more years with some more experience, he might be ready for a big time fight like that. But at that point, I think Fury's no longer in the sport. Wilder's on his way out in a couple years or so, I think in a few years, and then Usyk may not even be there in a few years. So at that point, Anderson would pretty much have an open reign to take over the heavyweight division if he was ready at that point. But like I said, man, that fight has been announced to happen over in Saudi Arabia, and it's supposed to happen December 23rd is almost the set date. Don't take a word for it. They haven't said it's a set date. They said as long as Fury doesn't suffer some kind of injury in the Ngannou fight or something doesn't happen, or as long as he comes out of that fight saying, hey, yeah, I'm ready, let's make this happen on December 23rd, it's going to happen before the year ends. And man, I'm telling you guys, for boxing to be able to end the year with a Fury versus Usyk fight to unify the heavyweight division would cap off the year for boxing. And then you got an automatic rematch clause in there that whoever the winner is or whoever the loser is can automatically demand a rematch within 90 days. So you're going to start out the year with a Fury-Usyk fight again. So goodness gracious. In the year, you start the year with a bang, and then you end the year with a bang. Boxing has put on a clinic, and we're not even done, guys. We're only in October. Like I said, we got the David Benavidez fight coming up. You got the Sonny Edwards Bam fight coming up. You got Haney versus Prograis coming up. I mean, dude, you got, Shakur Stevenson with a double header, Shakur versus, whoever he's fighting, Dos Santos. And then you got Navarrete versus Concepcion on the same card. You've got Serrano coming up versus Ramos in a 12-round, 3-minute women's fight that's going to make history out there. You still have Katie Taylor versus Katie Taylor is going to be facing Chantel Cameron in November for that big fight. Ryan Garcia announced he's going to be fighting in December. So, I mean, dude, God, it's just boxing just keeps putting on great shit. And this weekend, for the true boxing fans, this weekend is a good weekend. For the casuals, whatever, man, we'll see you guys on the next big fight when you want to act like you are fans of boxing. Or whenever Jake Paul fights. Hey, KSI's got a fight coming up. I'm sure you guys will come out for that. Yay, KSI. Oh, my God. I can't wait for YouTube boxing to end. It's one of the worst trends in American history, in my personal opinion. And these guys walk around like they're real fucking boxers. I think that's what annoys me more than anything. Because they got money and they can go hire the best trainers and the best physicians and the best, chefs and make sure they're eating correctly. They think they are boxers, but yet they won't fight an actual fucking boxer. And when, like Jake Paul did, give him the only credit to fight a real fucking boxer. And I won't, you know what? Fucking Tommy Fury's not a real boxer, dude. That dude sucks, dude. Let's be honest. And he beat Jake Paul. He's like the fucking mediocre version of fucking boxer. Not even mediocre, bro. Like, he has no career in boxing. His best career is to fight YouTube guys. And look, look me, I'm tough. Oh, but it's KSI and Jake fucking Paul on my racket. Fucking YouTube champ. It's nothing to be proud of, Tommy Fury. But hey, you fight a boxer, whatever. Cool. You want to call that a boxer? And then when you lose against that guy, then you guys know, dude. That's why immediately Jake Paul didn't go to another boxer. He went to Nate Diaz. That's a fact. But YouTube boxing is fucking terrible, dude. I'm going to put it out there. YouTube boxers are horrible, man. It's not entertaining. They walk around as if they put the work into the fucking sport and that they are, they're actual boxers. Like, fight real boxers. Then you'll get my respect. Tommy Fury, Jake Paul got a little bit of respect from me for fighting the guy. But fight another boxer who's an actual boxer. What are you, 175, Jake? That's cruiserweight. Joe Smith, Ramirez, them guys, Dimitri Bivol. He wouldn't fight you anyways, and they'd fucking whoop your ass, but. Woo! All right. All right, guys. Well, there's not much more to talk about. Like I said, this was we had a big week last week. We got a pretty good week this week in boxing. Man, we're going to round out the year supposedly with a really good fight December 23rd, the end of the year. Fury versus Usyk to unify the heavyweight division. And we're just going to get some really great fights, man. And I think 2024 is going to be a super big year for boxing. If you guys thought you saw big fights this year, wait till 2024. I think we're going to be in store for something absolutely beautiful for boxing, man. It's only going to get better. These guys are finally fighting each other. And Saudi Arabia said, hey, we'll put up the money for it. So we'll see how that goes for the rest of the year, man. Let's take this shot together, man. I'm going to save a little bit for me and my wife when she gets home. Maybe watch that new movie, Strays. That looks hilarious. It's on Peacock if you guys got Peacock, drop today. All right. One more shot to end the show together, right? Oh, yeah. I'm going to put the rest of this up. Not much left. Once again, guys, what we're drinking on today, kind of hard to see because the label is like bronze, and I got that light back there, so it's kind of ricocheting off. It is called Horse Soldier. Read the back there. I probably can't see shit on that. But anyway, it's called Horse Soldier, man. It's out of Kentucky Bardstown. I like this stuff a lot. It's really good. Really smooth, not really harsh like I like. But anyways, man, this is episode 19. I'm your host, Jeff. Thank you for joining me for another episode of Bourbon and Boxing, man, where the drink is bourbon and the talk is boxing. Thank you guys for joining me. And let's take this little shot together. And we'll call this show a show, guys. And once again, man, episode 19. Let's wrap it up.